For the first time in TNT history, we're running 2 races in one night. Starting with Watkins Glen International, the points leader. Noah Belleville will lead the field out of turn number 4 on our very short pace lap. The doubleheader will go green. It's Belleville and Gaiman on the front row at the Glen. Green flag is out. Let's go racing in the first ever doubleheader.
Caution, yellow flag.
Kevin Feemster, John Honeybrink, several drivers involved in a caution on lap number 1. And 5 minutes ago in the drivers meeting, we were just having a conversation that said, don't overdo it up the S's, and straight away we get into a wreck there. So Indiana's Kevin Feemster in a world of hurt. How about the 2-time champion Tom Sears? He's really suffering. The ELM Supra on 3 functioning wheels will go right through the bus stop. Not that it makes any difference in Southampton's Tom Sears, already struggling. So let's go back to the start of this race and find out exactly what happened. I want to know. Green flag comes out. Your points leader, Noah Belleville, on the left-hand side, and Josh Gaiman on the right. Looking down at Kevin Feemster. Tom Sears just gets way off course. Kyle St. John looks like he makes a little bit of contact with Feemster, and after that, everybody just gets involved. Last week's winner, Chris Fleming. You had Albany's Ryan Pennell just squeezing by in the Mac Tonight machine. Let's see if we can have another look at this. Again, Tom Sears going off the racetrack. 14 hits the wall. And there's the heavy damage. 31. Matt Kent from Hewitt, Texas, now pitching for the Fubon Guardians in Taipei. Just squeezes by. Let's see what happened here with Kevin Feemster in the 7. Feel bad for Sears, still struggling to get it together. The electrician from Southampton in need of heavy repairs. Let's see what John Honeybrink saw. Nick Giampa just squeezed by. No, this is actually way later. Here's Nick Giampa squeezing by. Just avoids making any extraneous contact there, and the 15 Marlboro machine squeaks through. So, DeSoto, Missouri's Noah Belleville leads the way in this 25-lap affair. 41-61, running 1-2. Nick Pressey sitting in the 3rd position. Sophomore Matt Seeger coming in 2nd place. If you want to see how close the distance was, go on to Rick James' Twitter or Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. You're going to see screenshots of just how close the racing was there. I think it was, 4/100ths of a second at the line. It was something crazy. But a pretty special finish there. If you just tuned in, lap 1 crash involving Tom Sears, Kevin Feemster, Matt Kent. Watch this. Just loose. Cold tires, 14 just gets loose. 31 of Matt Kent tries to avoid all of this. There's the heavy contact. And Kevin Feemster didn't have an easy time around it as well. Let's watch the Indiana pilot navigate this. Mama Vols is in the house. Bama Trama says hi as we ride along with Kevin Feemster. Let's see if we can get another look with Kevin. There's the contact from St. John that sends him around. But St. John just checks up a little too late. And last week's winner, Chris Fleming, just made it through. Let's go on board with Fleming. Nice and slow. Easy does it for Fleming, and the 38 machine just gets by. Emily in the house cheering for Matt Seeger. There's the sophomore currently running in the 4th position. Noah Belleville at the front as the Porsche pace car leads them around. See if we can bother Noah Belleville for a quick word. Noah Belleville, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
I got you.
So not the greenest start we would have imagined here, but we're going to restart with 21 laps to go. What's the expected pit window on what is still essentially a full tank of fuel?
Man, I don't know. I mean, going into it without the caution, I was just going to split it halfway and pit at 12 at the end of 12. But, yeah, I guess you could go now to about 20 maybe, and then just take gas only. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to figure it out.
Gas
and
only.
A couple people pit.
So no
So I don't
tires
know if
because...
they're gonna try and save.
So in practice, a lot of guys were saying that they just couldn't handle the fall off from the tires. So you think gas only might be the move after 12 laps?
Yeah, because it's really more temperature related. I mean, when you pit and put gas only, it's going to cool your tires back off. You're going to get more speed. So I feel like you could get away with it. It's just, I don't know. I don't really know. That caution kind of made things interesting strategy-wise.
Grandma Jeannie in the house saying she hope it goes better than Talladega. I'm sure you're hoping it goes a lot better than Talladega as well. We're going to find out here in the next 21 laps. You've got a 7-point lead over Brooklyn's Nick Pressey. That's sitting right behind you coming into this first ever TNT doubleheader. Road course, one of your strong suits, but do you think Nick Pressey's going to be a threat tonight here or at Richmond?
I'd worry about him more at Richmond than I would here. But he's going to be close in both, that's for sure.
We're going to find out real soon. All right, man. Thanks for giving us your time. Strap in, and hopefully we talk to you in the next 20 laps.
Yep, see you.
Noah Belleville. Going to restart with Josh Gaiman to his left-hand side, excuse me, one more time. So practically a redo is what we get here. Drivers have their fast repairs on. A couple of drivers decided to come down pit road. Let's see if we can get our first green flag lap in. 21 laps remain in the TNT doubleheader. Race 1 of 2. Noah Belleville will start with control of the field. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. Belleville beats them all back to the line. 0.8 of a second the gap between first and second. Josh Gaiman still keeping the pressure on that 41, headed up the hill on board. Shout out my brother, Repeat 1975, in the chat as well. He came by to say hi. Just texted him, I think, earlier this week or a little bit last week. The whole 1975 family is doing well. And then, of course, shout out to everybody and well wishes and positive vibes to everybody out there in North Carolina during this awful tragedy. All praise that Repeat and his family are currently doing okay. Shout out, Repeat. Thank you, buddy. Love to your family as well. And Mama Vols as well, who said Grandma Jeannie, not Mama Vols. Grandma Jeannie, who said she's in Talladega tonight, which is awesome. I was at Talladega actually with a lot of these drivers a few years ago. Richie Catania, who I just met, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ago at Atlanta, the Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's got his special Richmond paint scheme on. If you didn't know, watch this. You see Yosemite Sam on the back of that race car? I'm going to get the year wrong. I know it wasn't 2002 because 01 and 02 was Bugs Bunny, but I want to say 2003 or 2004, it was the Chevy Rock and Roll 400, and then the Looney Tunes were on select cars, and Yosemite Sam was on this car here for 1 year. Richie Catania coming up against the number 38. Last week's winner, Chris Fleming. Richie's into the wall, loose out of the S's, and the curse of the commentator sees heavy damage on the inside of the 2-4. Richie goes wide and into the wall, big time. Heavy damage. Let's see what happened to Richie. Does he just gets loose out of the S's and slams the wall. Have another look. And the Orlando driver running in the 14th position, chasing down last week's winner in lucky number 13. Chris Fleming in the 38. It's a really wide entrance, a really short apex, a super wide entrance out of turn number 1, and Catania again with the advantage up the hill. But now both cars are damaged. 17 to go this time, and it's a traffic jam back through Briley Wright. Ryan Pennell just waiting for all of this damage to blow over, and the hometown flavor of the week currently running in 16th in the Mac Tonight machine. The sophomore Matt Seeger in the driven car wash Camry, hunting down Brooklyn's Nick Pressey, another New York driver in tonight's race. The pink drip die-cast machine out of the final corner, coming up behind Josh Gaiman in that 61 over the last 5 laps. Noah Belleville putting in the race's quickest lap at 1:11.97. Josh Gaiman losing time to Nick Pressey over a couple of the last laps, and Nick Pressey that time just way slower than Gaiman, so not really consistent gain or fall between the 94 and the 61. Meanwhile, Matt Seeger in the 4th position over the last 5 laps has been losing ground to the top 3, but gaining ground on Donald Ray, and the native son of Rockwall, Texas, rounds out the top 5 in the number 5. Having a great run at Talladega last week until he just gets into the outside wall, and he still fought back. There's never been a time where Donald Ray has not fought back or tried to be part of the competition. And he's in the top 5. You've got to give it to him. The man has been practicing. He's been having one of his better seasons since he won at Texas in Season 4. 15 to go next time by. Belleville leads by 2.9 seconds in the 41. He's making this race awfully boring. Let's look to some action here. Tom Sears in a freshly repaired 14 Supra. He gets around Tommy Withers, who's just trying to avoid contact with Kevin Feemster, who got in that mix-up on lap number 1. Let's ride on board with the 7. How about that for some sideways action? Kevin Feemster, Tommy Withers sliding the race car all over the place. Drivers in practice, and you heard Noah Belleville earlier mentioning that the temperature on the racetrack is just far too hot. Drivers sliding all over the place. Colin McDonough's getting faster. The rookie's up into the 7th position, 1:14.10, his personal best. Richie Catania also putting in his fastest lap. Matt Kent, Ryan Pennell with green laps. They're only getting faster as well. More grip on the racetrack, though, as drivers have been running, they've been practicing, they're up to racing temperature. So as Briley Wright tries to get around the 38 here, Briley Wright running 1 lap down, but he is the lucky dog. If another caution comes out, Briley ends up getting his lap back. Chris Fleming is going to go wide. They're not racing for position. Fleming trying to hold off Matt Kent, who now has the advantage up the hill. If you just tuned in, all you've missed is a lap 1 crash. You're watching the battle for the 13th position. Last week's winner, Fleming, ahead of the American pitcher from Taiwan, Matt Kent. He's in 14th. Further up, Tommy Withers ahead of Kevin Feemster again, and last time Withers lost control up the hill. Let's go on board with the Virginian, who goes extremely wide out of the second to last corner, and Kevin Feemster says thank you for the spot. Richie Catania in the 2-4, sitting ahead of Briley Wright. Not for position, but Briley making up great time on the racetrack. Look at the 29. Doing it the hard way around Catania in the 2-4, who gets really squirrely under braking. Smoking into turn 1. Richie goes wide, and Matt Kent now trying to chase him down. Lapierre's Terry Freer behind the NVIDIA 2-0 of John Honeybrink. This is for 16th. And this battle just got a lot more interesting. 3 drivers fighting it out for 15th. The New York pilot ahead of the Michigan pilot and John Honeybrink in the 2-0 behind them. Amazing sound these race cars make. Tommy Withers is in to the pits, the 6 car. They've all got a pit sometime. Last week's winner, Chris Fleming, decides I'm going to come screaming into the pits. The hell happened to him? Watch this. And in the background, watch for the 38 of Chris Fleming. Oh. Yeah, he just decided way too late he's going to have to come into the pits, and that's going to cost him a bunch of time. Matt Kent just went green, 1:14.95. He's quickest. Well, his personal quickest, excuse me. Noah Belleville has a 3-second gap over Josh Gaiman as we eagerly await for these drivers to visit pit lane. Nick Pressey 3 seconds behind the top 2, and Matt Seeger, he's been practicing his road courses. The Georgia driver in 4th. The 15 of Nick Jumpa now behind John Honeybrink. This is the battle for the 15th position. Let's go on board with Nick. Richie Catania with heavy damage on the right front corner, skating out of the S's. Matt Kent 8/10 behind him. Kent, Catania have not pitted under green yet. 12 laps to go in this first race. Fans watching, for those that don't know the plan yet, what we're going to do is we're going to end the stream after race 1 completes. Stay tuned to Rick James TV Twitter. That's where you're going to find the notice when we go live for race number 2. Race number 2 going to be at Richmond. We're going to have 100 laps at Richmond after we finish up tonight at the Glen. Noah Belleville coming to 10 laps to go. It's a 2.5-second gap between himself and Josh Gaiman. Tommy Withers, he last pitted on lap 12. He's got fresh tires. He's ready to go to the end of this race. John Honeybrink pitted on lap 14. These drivers will benefit from the drivers now having to go down pit lane. Just got distracted by Thomas Andrews sliding super wide out of the S's. Track temperature really doing a number on these guys. I'm interested to see just who's going to have, well, I'm interested to see who's going to stay on the racetrack. Matt Kent gets around Richie for 9th, and Richie decides to slam the wall again. And Yosemite Sam looking more and more scared each and every lap. Nine laps to go next time by in race 1 of 2 in this doubleheader. Catania watching Matt Kent sail away. Josh Gaiman now takes the lead with Noah Belleville in the pits. Gaiman really slides out of the S's, trying to get right out of Kyle St. John's way. Dangerous moment for the leader. Nine at the line, and Josh Gaiman now on the clock. I mean, is he going to come in this time? Is he going to stretch the fuel to the very end? Thomas Andrews in that number 2 TNT machine. He sits in 2nd. Tom Sears is in 3rd. They have yet to pit under green. Nick Pressey pitting on lap 14. Noah Belleville on lap 15. Here comes Belleville trying to pass for the 4th position. Belleville cuts the corner perfectly. He's going to move into the 4th position. Thomas Andrews stays out. Josh Gaiman now coming out of the pits. Tom Sears coming down into the pits. Is he going to stop? Is he going to see what ends up happening with Sears in the 14? All right, he's going to come on down. So he's going to stop for his pit. Thomas Andrews. This is the old Thomas Andrews we're used to seeing. He's going to stretch that fuel, stretch the tires to the very end of the race. Then when he comes out of the pits, he's going to go like hell to just blast through the field, especially with the tire temperatures destroying a lot of these drivers' grip. Tanner Lockhart's in the chat as well, cheering for Matt Siegert. And the sophomore pitted on lap 14 as well. He's up to 6th. He's now chasing down Matt Kent at a ludicrous time here. You see, the last time around, Matt Seeger had 2.5 seconds on the Texas A&M pitcher. 31 car sitting in the 5th position. And Lockhart talking about the Tigers with a big win over the Astros. I am a Tigers fan. Don't go to as many games as I'd like to, but I am a fan of the Tigers here. And I should say this, I don't watch baseball, right? But if I had to pick a team to root for, Marlins and Tigers. So I like the Tigers. I'm glad that they made it. So now they play Cleveland, and it's gonna be a series against the Guardians. So we'll see just how much mojo Detroit has. But we've defied the odds up until now. We can do it through the divisional series as well. Matt Kent sitting ahead of Matt Seeger, and the two Matts 1 1/3 seconds apart with 7 to go this time by. 3 seconds is the gap between Josh Gaiman and Noah Belleville, and Gaiman just the pit strategy just exemplary here. Josh Gaiman with a 7 3/4 second pit stop. Noah Belleville 15 1/3 seconds. Emily asking for an update on the Falcons game. I got you. Don't worry about it. So, Josh Gaiman with a 7-second pit stop, under 8 seconds, makes me think he either A, went for 2 tires, or B, just went for fuel only. If it was fuel only, I don't know that he... I don't know. I don't know the math, but we know that Josh Gaiman did not get 4 tires on this last stop. Noah Belleville did, and with 6 to go next time by, it's going to be really interesting because this is sort of how the Laguna Seca battle went, where Josh Gaiman kept attacking pit lane and had a much better, his attack of pit lane, and not just Laguna Seca, but Josh Gaiman's attack of pit lane has been the key to him staying out front and competitive, and it shows here again. But you see that gap last time around. Noah Belleville 1 second quicker than Josh Gaiman. So at some point, Josh Gaiman is going to have to play a very heavy-handed defense against Noah Belleville. And Tanner Lockhart, the man with the Falcons game update. 10 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the half. Tampa Bay has the ball on the Falcons 23. My man Tanner coming in clutch. I appreciate that. Just gonna turn it on my phone as well. Anyway, 6 laps to go, 1.5 seconds the gap. Noah Belleville will catch Josh Gaiman this time by. Matt Seeger, 7 seconds off the top 3 and 13 seconds ahead of Donald Ray. It's his 4th place to lose at this point. Further on back, Kyle St. John now behind Tommy Withers. Watch this. This is for 13th. St. John going really heavy. And now Tommy Withers extends his gap to 0.8 of a second. St. John falling a little further back. Let's go further back through the field. Chris Fleming, the Talladega winner, gets around Terry Freer. Fleming with a big slide out of the S's. Freer says, I will take back 16th place. Thank you very much. And the battle rages on. How about the battle for the lead? 0.8 between them with 5 laps to go. On board with Gaiman. There's the move. Gaiman just can't defend. They do make contact into the bus stop. Gaiman really leaning on Belleville. Belleville will lean. No, he won't lean on Gaiman, and he'll cleanly go through the carousel. Gaiman tries to get right up on the back end of Noah Belleville. No contact, and they make it out of the carousel. Belleville to the lead. Car 41. How about that exchange? for first place. Gaiman's not done. Really throws the car sideways out of the penultimate corner, and he's watching Belleville sail on by. That was something else. Three to go next time by. Watch this again. Belleville really sends it in. Gaiman says, you know what? I'll have that inside curb. And he fought for it. Have another look. Have another look, and you make the call. Who left who enough room? That's not going to tell us a damn thing. Let's try again. And let's go further back. I don't want to miss a crash or anymore. There go. That Nick Giampa just calling it quits at the end of the S's there. So Gaiman was on the curb there. They definitely they raced hard, and you could say that they raced clean through the carousel there. That was a hard, clean move. See, Belleville's got a piece missing there, but he survives for the most part. And Noah Belleville, with 3 laps to go, leads Josh Gaiman by 1.7 seconds. Fans at home, don't forget, this is race 1 of 2 in tonight's doubleheader. Race 2 at Richmond will come approximately 25 minutes after the completion of this race here. Stay tuned to Rick James TV Twitter. That's going to be your alert. That's going to be your first news there. That we're going live for race 2 at Richmond. 100 laps at the Richmond Raceway. And there's been a lot of exciting action in this one. I know there's going to be a ton of exciting action for Richmond as well. So join us for that. And we'll have football updates as well. 2nd and 10 here for the Falcons. They've got the ball on their own 30-yard line with 9.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And there's going to be a throw up the middle of the field for a first down and more all the way to the Falcons' 48-yard line. 1st and 10. Birds advancing. Down 3 with 9 and change to go in the second quarter. Tom Sears, 0.7 of a second behind Rockwall's Donald Ray. 2 excellent friends. I've had the pleasure of meeting both of these gentlemen and watching a couple of races with them. Donald Ray trying to hold off for that top 5 position. Tommy Withers trying to get around Richie Catania. Here's a couple of other friends as well. Both of these guys I had the pleasure of watching the recent Atlanta race with. We were all there together. It was an awesome weekend. Our 4th consecutive year actually meeting up. Rumors are next week a lot of the TNT gang is going to be meeting up in Charlotte. Still in discussions. Tom Sears was there. He was at the Atlanta trip as well. Seen a race with this guy at Bristol, at Darlington, at Talladega, now at Atlanta. Definitely one more coming up next year. Noah Belleville has just been the class of the field all race, as expected, but will he be able to do it again? We have another race 25 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Stay tuned to Thursday Night Thunder Twitter and Rick James TV Twitter for the stream link. White flag in the air. Tom Sears does not have to send it in and go kamikaze on Donald Ray. There's the battle for the other position. Tom Sears can just bide his time. Donald Ray just ahead. Final lap for these two. Ray overcooks it. Ray overcooks it into turn number 1. Sears gets the inside up the S's. Ray gives him plenty of room up the S's. Sears will take the spot, and now Sears on defense. Richie Catania Now behind Tommy Withers, he gets loose out of the penultimate corner. They're coming to their respective white flag. Sears gets around Donald Ray, and he gets into 5th coming into the bus stop. Donald Ray just doesn't have the distance. Sears is going to sail away with this one. Noah Belleville wins race 1 of 2 in tonight's doubleheader. Donald Ray just trying to find a little bit more on Tom Sears. The 14 goes really wide out of that carousel corner. Look at him slide right back onto the racetrack. Man, that was scary. I thought he was going to hit that guardrail. Sears really sends it in deep. Donald Ray shakes the tail out, and if Sears can survive the final corner, he will hold on for the 5th position. And he will hold on for the 5th position. How about that for some great racing? Tommy Withers now just trying to really hold off Richie Catania. Ryan Pinnell in 11th as well. This is a 3-way fight for the 11th spot. The New Yorker, the Virginian, and the Floridian. The Mac Tonight Machine trying to secure the 11th position. Checkered flag in the air. This time by Ryan Pinnell goes wide. So does Catania. Withers stays on track. Pinnell's going to come home with 11th. Withers wide out of the final corner. Richie Catania will get around him, but they're going to drag race to the line. It's going to be Tommy Withers in 12th. Richie Catania will crash himself out in 13th. And drivers are going to be getting ready now for their short practice at Watkins Glen. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk to Noah Belleville, Josh Gaiman, Nick Pressey, and we're going to get ready in 25 minutes for this this second race in our heat here. Drivers finishing up at Watkins Glen. Stick tight. We're going to talk to our podium, and then we'll be back in. We'll talk again about the plan for race number 2. We'll be back in a couple minutes. On the podium with our top 3, starting with tonight's bronze medalist, Brooklyn's very own Nick Pressey. Nick, thrilling race, genuinely, from start to finish, but now you've got to kind of brush this off and immediately go from a 2.5-mile road course to Richmond. You think you can do any better than 3rd in our second coming up race?
I'd hope so. Richmond's a pretty short track, so maybe this trial strategy will. I'll find a way to make it work in our favor. But yeah, it's adjusting from a short track to a road course, or vice versa. I don't imagine it to be too difficult.
We'll see what happens here in the next few minutes here. Approximately, again, 25 to 30 minutes until green flag at Richmond. Congratulations on 3rd. We'll update these points here, and we'll have it for you at the end of our Richmond race. Gaiman, tonight's silver medalist with the brilliant pit strategy, just attacking pit road and a great exit. Looks like Belleville just got you at the end, and then some interesting contact headed into the bus stop, but it all worked out.
Yeah, it wasn't really about racing for the win. I just wanted to secure 2nd place. There was no chance I was beating him at all.
And now you've got to try and do one better going into Richmond. What's it going to take to get him at the 3/4 mile?
Not hating that track would be a good start. That's still like my worst short track next to Bristol. But give it all we got and see what happens.
Talking to our race winner now, Noah Belleville, you secure another win. 4 wins now after this short heat at Watkins Glen. You're going to carry unofficially a 15-point lead. You stretch from 7 to 15 headed into Richmond now, going for 2 consecutive wins in the same night. We've never raced a doubleheader before, so nobody's ever won both races in a TNT doubleheader before. But what's the focus now? Because we're switching from 2.5-mile road course to 3/4 mile oval.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still points racing. Kind of went into Watkins, Glen, just trying to make sure I stayed ahead of the guys that I'm racing, and accomplished that. So now I got to go here to Richmond and don't have to win. Just got to make sure we beat Pressy. No offense, Pressy.
We'll
I
see what
love ya.
happens. Well, we'll see what happens here coming up shortly. We'll let you get to practice. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you racing here in just about a half hour.
All right, have fun.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for this first of 2 races tonight. I'm geeked. I'm excited. This is pretty exciting. So we're gonna finish up here, and then coming up in again approximately 20-25 minutes, we're gonna go live for race 2 at Richmond. 2 points races, 2 fun, exciting little heats, 100 laps coming up under a bit of a darker scene at Richmond when the sun will go down and the lights will turn on for our iRacing Gen 4 stock cars. For those fans on Twitch, if you stay right here on Rick James TV 1, the stream will end and then it will go live once again. Fans watching on YouTube, we will have a new link when we go live. Stick to Rick James TV Twitter. That's where we will be posting our YouTube link for race number 2. Sit tight, stretch your legs, and grab a drink. We're going to be back in approximately 25